form. Alright, so 10e is about the equation of a line. So I'm just going to read the green box. The equation of a line is a rule which connects the x and y coordinates of all points on the line. So just what we've been using, we can draw a linear equation, so a linear line, and basically all straight lines have an equation. So we can write a mathematical equation for it. Right, we'll start with the gradient intercept form. So copy that in your book and we're going to write the green box. So basically all you have to write is gradient intercept form is y equals mx plus c. This is called a gradient intercept form. Now I want you to annotate on this. This m over here is the gradient. So in your book, write it down. And this c is called y-intercept. Right, that doesn't really look like a y. Y-intercept. So m is a gradient, c is the y-intercept. Obviously y value and the x value is just any values you can make it. You can do whatever you want. So for example, let's have a look at this example. Y equals 2x, take 3. You can hopefully see that the number 2 that's in front of the x is the m value, so that's the gradient. So that's the gradient. My negative 3, this negative 3 is y-intercept. So you can see that negative 3 is the y-intercept over here. So basically what a y-intercept means when the graph cuts the y-axis. And the gradient is 2, so it's a positive line. Okay, so let's have a look at a general form. This is another form. I want you to write general form. I want you to copy this equation down. ax plus by equals c. This equation, if you have it in this format, is called the general form. So there's two different forms. There's general form and there's the gradient intercept form. You need to be able to kind of distinguish between them. This isn't going to be in your cheat sheet. Alright, for example, over here, if it's in the form of 2x plus 3y equals 5, kind of like the ones that we've done with simultaneous equations, when it's x, a y, and an equal and a number, x and a y, and an equal and a number. So this is called a general form. Alright, equations in general form are usually written with a positive coefficient of x. So as you can see, there's a positive x and a positive 2x. We can rearrange equations to convert actually between the intercept form and the general form, because all you have to do is just move things around. Alright, so what we're going to do is rearrange this equation, because we learnt how to rearrange equations in the previous chapter. So let's use that practice. So A, write that in the general form. Now, general form, if I write the general form, it should look something like this from memory. Let me just scroll back. Yep. That's the general form. So I have to make sure, so let's copy this down first right in front of me. I have to make sure my x is on my left hand side. So what I have to do is the opposite of negative half x. So positive half x. So I have to add it. So it'll be y plus a quarter x equals 3 over 4. Now, have a look. I want to make sure my x is at the beginning, but x is in the middle at the moment, so I just have to rearrange it. So I can write quarter x plus y equals 3 over 4, and that's it. Let's move on to B. 2x plus 5y equals 7. So this is in the general form. I need to change it into a gradient intercept form, which is y equals mx plus c. So I basically need to make y the subject. Right, so first thing I have to do, I have to get rid of this plus 2x. So I do negative 2x, negative 2x. So hopefully we're pretty used to this. 7 take 2x. Alright, all I have to get rid of is now the 5. So divide 5, divide 5. So my y is the subject now, and it is kind of in the form of the y-intercept form. Now, be careful though. I don't want you to leave it like this, because it doesn't have a massive fraction of divide 5. So what you actually have to do is you have to split the fraction. 7 over 5, you have to make sure you divide this number by the numerator, which is the denominator, which is 5. You leave the negative, you write negative 2x, and you have to make sure you write the 5 on the bottom of this as well. Now, if you have a look, we like to write the x term at the front. So all I have to do, this one has the x, so that needs to go at the front. So y equals negative 2x over 5 plus 7 over 5, because that technically has a plus. So that's how you write it. And if you rearrange it to the correct form, it should always look something like this. You should always have the x term first and the c, which is just a number at the back. For this one, you always have to have the x term, the y term, and the number like in that order. It has to be in that order. Alright, so now what you should be able to do is some of these questions. I'm going to just highlight maybe a couple of them. If you want to choose some random ones, you can. So you have to figure out whether the following equations are in gradient intercept form or general form. All you have to do is write maybe intercept form, int for intercept form, and then general for general form. So I want you to actually try all of them. Write all of these. I'll highlight all of them. So basically I just want you to write gen or int. So I want you to tell me if it's in general form or in gradient intercept form. Hopefully that makes sense. Question 2, state the gradient and the y-intercept of a line with equations. So basically that is talking about my y-intercept form. Alright, the gradient intercept form. I need to make it in that form and be able to figure out what my m, the gradient, is. And my c, just the number, which is the y-intercept. So you need to be able to do all of them. I'll just pick a couple for you. So do these ones. Here we go. Now write the following equation in general form. So what you have to do is, these are all in obviously y-intercept form. It all has y equals, etc. I want you to try converting them into the general form. If you need to have a look at an equation, an example, here you go. So example B will help you, no, example A will help you change it into the general form. So have a little look at it if you need to. Hopefully you've written it down in your book. So try this one and that one. For I, write the equation in the gradient form, state the gradient of a line. So I want you to do those two, I and I for these two. So not too much, I just want you to give it a brief practice. Right, points on line. Point lies